quick show of hands, who here wants to play a game? Anybody? Okay, you there. White hair, back a couple rows. All right, you ready? No, you sit down. You're okay. You're okay. You ready? Okay. You make the first move. Is something wrong? Oh, come on. I believe in you. If you just put your mind to it, you can do it, right? I suppose this game might be a little bit hard for you if you don't know the rules yet. You see, for as long as I can remember, I have heard the phrase, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. We've all heard that with determination and just a little bit of luck, we can achieve our dreams. This really is a fantastic idea, and it's truly gotten me through life in many ways, as I'm sure it has for many of you as well. But what about the times when that doesn't work? Like the game we just played a few moments ago. What about the times when no amount of willpower can help you achieve your goal? This is something that I had to deal with from a very young age. You see, I was born with left-sided hemiplegic cerebral palsy. In short, it's a brain condition that affects muscular growth and motor skills. Needless to say, my work was already cut out for me. I struggled with, on the one hand, being told that I could achieve anything in my life, while on the other, I was faced with the harsh reality of my specific situation. The fact remained that no matter how hard I tried, I was always going to be limited by my disability. For instance, as a kid, all I ever wanted was to play hockey, and the amount of times I tried are beyond what I can count. But nothing would change the fact that my disability just wouldn't allow me to. I didn't know what to do about that at the time. My life was just built differently than everyone else's, and I guess I just needed to accept that. In reality, we've all experienced something similar to what young Seth experienced. You yourself may not have cerebral palsy, but I guarantee that each and every one of you has that barrier. That one or many immovable objects in life that makes you question, maybe I can't achieve this goal. If I'm being honest, maybe you can't. But is that such a bad thing? What if those moments in life where we just happen to be dealt a bad hand are actually vital pivot points in the direction of our lives? Thinking about this reminds me of times when I had been asked how I think my life would have gone had I not had cerebral palsy. And usually it goes something like this. If I didn't have cerebral palsy, I would be a star 3-sport athlete because, well, look at me, I'm just clearly built for it. I'd do well in school, I'd get an athletic scholarship, and then it would be smooth sailing into my happily ever after as a professional hockey player. All right, so that might be slightly exaggerated, but I think you get the point. Usually, whomever I'm talking to follows up with another question. Would I change it? My immediate response is no, of course not, despite the possibility of my thriving athletic career. But thinking about this as a 21-year-old, why do I feel this way? We're all faced with life-changing challenges, and why is it that part of us wouldn't want to give those up, despite how much pain they might cause us? Maybe it's because that vision of Seth's life without cerebral palsy is a very linear vision of life, one that has a beginning, a middle, and it's aiming towards a particular end. Maybe life isn't meant to be linear. It's meant to have twists and turns and immovable brick walls. Maybe it's a bit like a game of chutes and ladders, where you climb up until you fall back down unexpectedly. Asking for life to be anything other than that means trying to fit your view of your life to something that it's just not. You see, I can never imagine my life without cerebral palsy because then it's no longer mine. Why should I waste my time imagining all the million scenarios where I could have had a better life when I could just accept the nature of my situation for what it is? If I'm being completely honest, nothing that I've said up until this point is really all of that revolutionary. We've all heard some form of accept who you are and life will just fall into place. That's all well and good, but is it that easy? Well, you and I both know that it's not. You see, there will always be part of me that is hurt by my cerebral palsy. Whether it be when I'm on the ice with my brothers or on the stage with my friends, there will always be part of me that is frustrated by not being able to achieve what I want. I only bring up this point to clarify what I'm trying to convey on this stage tonight. I am not saying that just by accepting all of your life challenges, everything will be okay. Because the fact is, some things in life just suck. And maybe they always will. But there's a difference between accepting and justifying. Let's look at it this way. I sometimes imagine my life as a hallway. On either wall is a series of doors, some opened and some closed. Each door is a point in my life. Maybe it's a choice I made or some big life event. For me, being born with cerebral palsy immediately slams many of those doors in my face, including the one involving my professional hockey career, apparently. But I won't be lifting the Stanley Cup anytime soon. But in the absence of hockey, I found myself in places I never would have expected. I found a passion for theater, an art that I've devoted the past few years to, an art that I ultimately thank for giving me many of my lifelong friends. I found a passion in academics for creating my desire to learn something new every day. So here I am, years later, acting, singing, dancing, and planning on pursuing a master's degree in something that has way more math than young Seth could have ever seen himself doing. Seriously, if only we could tell third grade Seth that as he cried over his times tables. I've come to realize that everything I aimed to get out of playing hockey, the discipline, perseverance, the ability to perfect a craft, I was able to get those in my life too. I just had to find my own way to get to them. Being born with cerebral palsy means I will always be faced with slammed doors. So realistically, I then have two options: to put my all into throwing myself at that closed door in hopes of finding a way to break through, or to keep moving down the hallway. For every door I don't go through means an infinite number of others that I can try down the line. I know that if I had stayed at that closed door all those years ago, I would never have found the fulfillment that I was looking for on the other side. I just needed to keep moving down the hallway. It's this way of looking at my life that's really changed my perspective in the past year or so. I've begun to see my life a bit like a game. Not too much unlike the game our volunteer started us off with. And as we learned in the beginning, a game cannot be played without knowing its rules. You see, every slammed door, although painful and perhaps unexpected, is a rule that I must abide by. Without the rules, how could I play the game? Without the rules, how would I have ever known to move to another door? Before they cue the exit music and have to forcibly remove me from this stage, I want to leave you with this. In your life, you will be faced with a slammed door, and with that door, a choice: to put your all into attempting to break that door down, or to keep moving. And I'm not going to pretend to tell you that there is always a correct answer here, but with every obstacle, take a moment to consider what your options are. The answer you're looking for may not be on the other side of that door. I know that if I had stayed at my door, I wouldn't be in front of you here tonight. It's important to note that we won't always love the rules that are imposed on us, like I'm never going to love my cerebral palsy. But sometimes accepting the rules is the only way to play. In my game of life, I've come to realize that maybe I wasn't meant to achieve everything, but I was meant to achieve something. The only way to find out is to keep playing. Thank you.